Okay, so we're here with Eric Williams. He's got a lot of experience with collegiate sports, and today we want to talk about coaches' attitudes towards athletes' injuries in collegiate sports. So, Eric, you have some experience as a collegiate runner, right?
Yep.
I'm sure you saw some injuries when you were doing your running days and whatnot.
I did. I saw myself. I was injured multiple times, and of course, other athletes, whether on the cross country or track team or in other sports that I got to watch and support, were their athletes were injured as well at different times.
So I remember, like, when I played football on the football team, there was a difference between being injured and being hurt. And so, like, my coach would ask us to be like, more. Are you injured or are you hurt? Are you hurt or are you injured? And based on the answer, you either keep playing. If you're hurt, if you're injured, come out of the gate. Do you kind of have that kind of a relationship going on?
Yes and no. I think I was fortunate at the college I went to, Westmont College. Our track and cross country coach, Russell Smelly, was very good at valuing the athlete as a person and whole body and future mindset over results on that season, which may or may not have made our team less successful, as opposed to a coach that drives the win at all costs as the bottom line. So I think there's potential that I could have run faster, but I may have been injured more often and more severely than having a coach who valued what we had to say about our bodies and let us take the time we needed to heal.
So were you ever had an injury or one of your colleagues had an injury where you actually had to go out for an extended period of time?
Yeah, actually sophomore year, I was unable to race the entire season of both cross country and track, and ended up having knee surgery during that time. And I don't think I was pressured from coach or other athletes to get out there soon or to push through the injury. I think I put a lot of pressure on myself to get back out there, and I may have made my injury worse, which pushed me towards surgery by putting that pressure on myself instead of rehabbing earlier on. But of course that depends on what type of person you are. I was one of the athletes that would try and push myself through injury or to the point of injury.
Well, yeah, that's really interesting. And then I was curious, just anecdotally, in your athletic career, not just at the college that you're at, have you seen any type of people who have injuries who will go as far as inject cortisone injections to play in an event, or people talk about that?
Yeah, I think you always see it to some degree or another, whether it is a cortisone injection or it's taking 5 or 6, 200 milligram ibuprofen before the event so that you can perform without pain while you may be making yourself worse further down the road. At that time, either you or the pressure from coaches or other athletes is saying what matters right now is the result that you do today on the track or on the field. So I have seen that, and I have myself taken large quantities of painkillers or bronchodilators in order to get through the event, because heading into it I knew I was not at my top and wanted a little bit extra, whether it was actually physiological or all in my head, to try and get out there and do more.
Right, and of course the bronchodilators are therapeutic use based on physician prescription. Right, you can get an order from your doctor.
Yeah, and what we're talking about is actually kind of a thin line that you're walking, and depending on how far you go down that line, now you're asking for bronchodilators, now you're asking for, systemic cortisone steroids to reduce inflammation, and And further on down that line, you may be driving to Tijuana to get yourself some EPO because you're wanting that extra edge. And whether it's hiring a nutritionist to micromanage your diet, that 75-80% of the other athletes don't have that edge. You're seeking that edge, and maybe you keep seeking it and step into the realm of, the gray area between legal and illegal.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It sounds to me though like your program was pretty positive and pretty clean and or very clean and kind of doing the right thing.
I would like to believe so. And, I would think that most programs out there would like to believe that their athletes are clean and their coaches are clean and not pushing them to take those steps towards what's on like a, banned list. But we know it happens. We know it happens at high school level, collegiate, and then the professional.
Yeah, so bottom line is if you want to have good athletic career with longevity, probably stay away from any type of performance enhancing drugs. And if you're hurt, you can still play if you listen to your body, but be cognizant that sometimes a hurt can turn into an injury.
Yeah, we had this saying that one or two well-placed days off could save a season. Even if you're not, even if at the time you don't think that one day off is going to matter that much. If you're just starting to feel a little icky, feel like something's coming on, whether it's sickness or a twinge in a knee or a hamstring, take 1 or 2 days off. It's probably not going to hurt your training, because what you would do instead is just take it a little easy on that day. And what you really need is that recovery. So 1 to 2 well-placed recovery days in a week or in a month will save your season, rather than taking an easy day, which doesn't really benefit you and is not going to allow your body to recover. One of my best seasons was actually done on training maybe 3 days a week and resting the other 4.
Yeah, definitely recovery time is critical to performance, And honestly, unless you're somebody out there who's a quarterback with $1 million arm and you have a lifespan on that arm, 3 to 7 years, and you're getting paid millions and millions of dollars for that arm throwing those footballs, then you probably don't need the cortisone shot. You got plenty of time to heal. Hopefully, if you're eating a whole foods plant-based diet, you're going to be living into your 90s. So you don't want to be jacked up with a permanent injury because you had to play through that Class C cyclocross race. Make sure you got those gains. Post that score. Thanks for coming by, Eric.
Yeah, no problem.